them to share the wealth in that regard.
Boston was pushed down. 7 to shoot. Boston methodical. On her take. After they had fallen behind by 6 in the quarter, then Sydney Colson, as Aaliyah Boston has an extended conversation with the officials, and then is gonna get over to Angel Gray. Angel?
The Fever were moments away from a huge win. Down by just 1 point, they had the ball in their hands with a chance to make a statement, but instead of a timeout to set up the perfect play, they rushed, hoping for a quick shot. Kelsey Mitchell, already exhausted from carrying the team all night, took a contested jumper. It missed. The game was over.
7-0 Indiana run. They're within 2 and a foul. This time, Peckers does get the call.
I thought this might have been an offensive foul. Howard for the finish.
Indiana's considering challenging this call, but they will not, as Peckers gets free.
But this wasn't just a missed shot, it was a missed opportunity. The real reason the Fever lost this game, it goes beyond the final buzzer. In this video, we'll break down the decisions, the mistakes, and the shocking moments that led to their heartbreaking loss. Stay tuned, because this is a story of missed chances, bad calls, and a team fighting against more than just the clock.
What's the reaction been from you guys, the players, the coaches, to losing Sid and Ari?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, just brokenhearted for them. They're two really good people that you hate to see this happen to. They've been an integral part of what we've been doing, and so hate it for them. Unfortunately, it's part of the deal, and we've got to roll with it. And we've got players in that locker room who believe in one another, players in that locker room who are as competitive as all get out. We've got versatility, and it's going to have to be on full display. So I think now it's about playing to honor them, right, and playing for them.
Aaliyah Boston walked off the court visibly frustrated. It wasn't just a tough loss, it was a devastating one. The Fever had clawed back from 17 points down, fighting through adversity with every shot, every pass, and every ounce of energy. They were out there without some of their key players. No Caitlin Clark, Sydney Colson, or Ari McDonald, all sidelined. Each loss was a blow, and yet despite these absences, they were still in the game.
It's never fun to lose. I thought we got a pretty good look out of it. But again, I think, we shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. The 17 turnovers got us there. So yeah, we shouldn't have even been there. But I thought, Kelsey got a look at it. It's unfortunate,
But even when things looked bleak, the team remained resilient. Kelsey Mitchell was leading the charge. A standout player, Mitchell had already poured in 24 points, including 4 three-pointers. She was doing everything in her power to keep the team alive, but there was only so much one player could do.
Just excited. I mean, I know that Indiana is a great organization, and just to be a part of it and just to be here with the great players that I'm going to be playing with, I mean, this is a great opportunity. I'm just happy to be here.
What's the most important thing for you in a situation like this, to just get acclimated, just to kind of get your feet under you and feel your way around the new spot here?
I mean, it's not my first time just coming to a new team and coming in and just being me. The biggest thing is just doing what I do best. Playing defense, playing hard, doing whatever the team needs. Obviously, I know they've been down with the injuries. Prayers up for Sid and Ari. Love them both. But like I said, I'm excited to be here, and I'm not going to do too much. But whatever coach tells me to do is what I'm going to do and have fun and enjoy my teammates.
The final moments of the game were in their hands. The outcome was still uncertain. The stakes were higher than ever. But then, everything changed. A decision was made that would alter the course of the game, and ultimately, the season.
As she showed in the last game, but it's not like her most natural way of playing, I would say. Do you have to tell her to focus on that? Does she just kind of know that as the primary ball handler of these games, she'll do it? How does that kind of process work when it's not a true point guard at the one?
Yeah, I mean, I want her to just do what she's been doing. She's been excellent all year long. She's been efficient all year long. Her decision-making has been on point all year long.
What was supposed to be the game-winning play became the moment that defined the loss. Was it a strategic error, or was it something deeper? The team had fought through the grind, but the final minutes would tell the real story. It wasn't just about the shot that missed. It wasn't just about the turnovers. It was the choices that led to them being in that position. Those choices, they were the ones that ultimately decided their fate.
Every single playoff game will be on our networks. As Vigil finally gets a look, her first points of the second half. Curl it in. Doesn't get the whistle. Indiana with numbers the other way. Mitchell in the corner. Cut it. Big game from Aisha Hines-Allen off the bench. Mitchell sprints into the lane, finds Cunningham. She got it. On a three, and it's a single-digit deficit.
With mere seconds left on the clock, the Fever were trailing by just 1 point. The stage was set for a dramatic finish. The energy was palpable. Fans were on the edge of their seats, hoping for a miracle. But instead of calling a timeout to set up a final play, a decision was made to push the ball up the court quickly. They didn't slow down, they didn't regroup, they rushed, hoping for a quick shot that could change everything.
Mitchell trying to create with 5 to shoot. Mitchell through the lane, and to scoop it in, and it's a 1 game.
Arch right, but you know she loves to go left. How many defenders try to come over and help them out 3 and still able to scoop it up and in?
Kelsey Mitchell, the team's star player, had already been carrying the load all night. She was tired, having played a substantial amount of time as both a scorer and a facilitator. The pressure was mounting, and she was feeling it. As she dribbled up the court, she was met with Dallas defenders, closing in with every move. She had no choice but to take a contested jumper. The ball went up, spinning through the air, but it missed. The final buzzer sounded. The game was over.
Mitchell trying to create with 5 to shoot. Mitchell through the lane, able to scoop it in, and it's a 1 game. Indiana ball down 1.7 to go. Cunningham has to get it in. Mitchell in the corner, can't hit, and Dallas hit.
It wasn't just the missed shot, it was the lack of a timeout, the lack of a play designed to maximize their final possession, a missed opportunity. Had they taken the time to set up a play, could they have executed something better? Could they have made a more calculated decision that could have resulted in the game-winning shot? Those questions would linger long after the game ended, but the missed shot wasn't the only reason the Fever lost.
So I wanted us to outlet and attack in transition. When it got to the point where we didn't attack and we just started dribbling sideways, I probably should have used it at the 3-second mark instead of a little bit later. I thought Kels might have had a baseline drive. That she ended up coming back to the middle, and so I didn't like that. But I did want us to push in transition with a low clock and limited.
The absence of key players wasn't just a statistical issue. It rippled through every possession, every move, every decision the team made on the court. Without a true facilitator, the Fever's offensive flow collapsed. The rhythm of their game was thrown off balance. Mitchell, who had been the team's go-to scorer, was now forced into the role of lead guard. Could one player carry the weight of an entire team? It's easy to say that Mitchell should have done more, but what we fail to realize is that she was already doing everything she could. Every possession now carried with it more responsibility. Every dribble, every pass, every shot came with pressure. The turnovers began to pile up. 17 turnovers, 17 moments when the ball was lost, resulting in 27 points for Dallas. Those points were the result of every mistake the Fever made. And those mistakes weren't just minor slip-ups, they were game-defining errors. Each turnover opened the door for Dallas to gain momentum.
Gets it back, 4 to shoot. Cunningham into the corner, Bibby again! Chloe Bibby breathing life into Indiana. A 19-0 Dallas run. Bibby buries the 3, just like in the first half when...
Each mistake compounded, building the pressure to unbearable levels. Every time the Fever made a mistake, Dallas capitalized, running the floor and scoring easily. That momentum shift was the key turning point that led to their eventual loss. It wasn't just about missed shots, it was about missed opportunities. Opportunities to regain control. Opportunities to stop the bleeding. The Fever were playing catch-up for most of the game, but now, in the final moments, it was too late. And as time wound down, that momentum became their undoing.
Here's Cunningham. Off to Boston. Boston turns the corner, spinning inside and laying it in.
In the midst of this chaos, the Fever front office made a quick decision. They signed veteran guard Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract. She was brought in to add depth to the backcourt, to stabilize the playmaking, and to alleviate some of the pressure on Mitchell. The plan seemed sound, but the timing was less than ideal. Sims had barely 1 day to familiarize herself with the playbook. She had no time to build chemistry with her teammates. Yet, she was thrust into the game against Dallas, expected to make an immediate impact.
Chloe, you were on the floor during that late third stretch when the Wings went on that run. What did you see that went sideways for you guys in that stretch?
We were just turning over the ball. I mean, yeah, as I said, the 17 turnovers, and I think we just didn't match their physicality. And, you know, we needed to clean it up. And I think that's what happened in the fourth when the girls come in and they really looked after the ball and, you know, shared the ball and offensively. And I think that's how we got into more of a groove. It really started defensively. And in that third, we just let it slide. They had way too many, you know, points off our turnovers.
Sims was on the court for just 13 minutes, but in that time, her impact was negligible. She finished scoreless, with only 2 assists and 1 turnover. Her presence on the court was more about trying to get into rhythm with the team than it was about contributing to the offense. What was the point of signing her if she wasn't going to make an immediate impact? Why was she forced into a game where every minute counted, without the time to integrate into the team?
You could overturn it to an offensive foul. You could also maintain that it's a foul, but take away the continuation. All of those things could happen here on this call.
The interesting thing is, when you get to this point of the play, it is a foul on Boston. But it's because her arm was clamped earlier in the play.
I mean, look at that.
Like, what can she do there?
She literally can do nothing. I don't know how that's not overturned to an offensive foul.
I agree with you.
That looks about as clear as it gets. And you saw how quickly Stephanie White challenged that.
In those 13 minutes, Sims wasn't just playing catch-up. She was trying to read her teammates, trying to figure out where to pass the ball and what the team needed from her. But it wasn't easy. The pressure was overwhelming. Could the team have been better served by finding a more prepared option? This question remained unanswered. The Fever's game wasn't just about individual plays, it was about chemistry and how the pieces fit together. And in the case of Sims, that puzzle just didn't quite come together in time.
After review, we have no illegal conduct by Euro, so the call will stand as confirmed. This will be also. Indiana will lose their challenge as well as their timeout. 1 shot for Euro. Thank you.
That's stunning to me. I mean, Aaliyah Boston, look at her. Lee puts her one hand down and then pins Boston down with her other arm.
I gotta say, Rebecca, I'm sure we'll get an explanation from Sue Blau at some point soon.
Mitchell, known for her offensive firepower, was suddenly thrust into the role of primary playmaker. Without Colson, McDonald, and Clark, Mitchell had to shoulder the entire offensive load. She was no longer just a scorer. She was running the offense, initiating every possession, breaking through traps, and still trying to score. The demands on her were insurmountable. Can one player do it all? The answer is yes, but only for so long.
Paige Beckers putting her hands on Sophie to shove her up. You see Sophie's hand in the air. Both hands are in the air right here. And Paige Beckers is shoving. She is shoving her clean off. Boom. Pushed her right into Howard. Pushed her into Howard. Now she's wide open and waiting for a pass like she just didn't do anything. Like she just didn't do anything. Wide open down here. Look at her. And then all of a sudden you get the whistle. And look at the ref. You see the ref? You see the ref right here. Calling the foul. And guess who the foul was on? Sophie Cunningham.
Mitchell played 40 minutes in this game, almost the entire second half, under constant pressure. Every time she touched the ball, Dallas sent extra help. They trapped her in the backcourt. They sent double teams to make her work for every single inch of space. Every time she made a basket, it was followed by another long, grueling possession where she had to break pressure, distribute the ball, and then create a scoring opportunity. Mitchell's stat line was impressive: 24 points on 7 of 15 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, and 6 rebounds. But these numbers don't tell the full story. What they didn't show was the exhaustion, the emotional toll, and the physical demands of having to do everything. The pressure on Mitchell was palpable, yet even when Dallas knew exactly what was coming, Mitchell still managed to find ways to keep the Fever in the game. But the question remains, could she have done more? Or was she already doing everything humanly possible under the circumstances?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a physical game. You know, I think there's a double standard in how people get their calls. I think Kelsey Mitchell, number one, is held or chucked on every freaking possession and never gets a call off the ball. I think Aaliyah Boston is the worst officiated post player in the league. She never gets a call. And you know, there's a double standard there, certainly. But you know, again, if it's going to be physical and you're gonna allow us to be physical, then allow both teams to be physical. If you're going to call the holds and you're going to call the chucks, and you're going to then call it both ways. So I mean, I think that we've been pretty consistent in what we're asking for, and I didn't feel like it was consistent, especially for those two. I think you could call a foul every time down the floor for those two.
In the fourth quarter, down double digits, Mitchell buried a deep three-pointer from several feet beyond the arc. It was a statement shot, but it wasn't just about the shot. It was about leadership. As the ball swished through the net, Mitchell motioned to her teammates, urging them to tighten up defensively. She wasn't just a scorer. She was a leader on the court, directing traffic and keeping everyone focused. But the game wasn't over. Mitchell continued to fight, making plays and keeping the Fever's slim hopes alive. She initiated a sharp pick-and-roll with Aaliyah Boston, threading a perfect pass for an easy 2 points. It was the kind of play that exemplified her leadership. She wasn't just playing for herself, she was playing for the team. Yet, even with those clutch moments, it wasn't enough. Could one player really carry the weight of an entire team to victory? The game wasn't decided by Mitchell's heroics alone. It came down to the decisions made in the final moments. Decisions that changed everything.
What did you feel like was so clunky or disjointed on that end of the floor?
I think it got better as the game went on, but I think just starting, I think the physicality level was a little bit different on both sides of the ball, and but for us, really, I think it's got to be our focus. Like, we got to make sure that we're connected on that end, making sure that we're in the right places for passes, and just being more conscious of us having that ball.
In the fourth quarter, down double digits, Mitchell buried a deep three-pointer from several feet beyond the arc. It was a statement shot, but it wasn't just about the shot. It was about leadership. As the ball swished through the net, Mitchell motioned to her teammates, urging them to tighten up defensively. She wasn't just a scorer. She was a leader on the court, directing traffic and keeping everyone focused. But the game wasn't over. Mitchell continued to fight, making plays and keeping the Fever's slim hopes alive. She initiated a sharp pick-and-roll with Aaliyah Boston, threading a perfect pass for an easy 2 points. It was the kind of play that exemplified her leadership. She wasn't just playing for herself, she was playing for the team. Yet, even with those clutch moments, it wasn't enough. Could one player really carry the weight of an entire team to victory? The game wasn't decided by Mitchell's heroics alone. It came down to the decisions made in the final moments. Decisions that changed everything. The aftermath of the game was nothing short of emotional. The Fever's loss to Dallas wasn't just about the missed opportunities on the court, it was about the emotional toll it took on the team. The loss dropped them to 18 wins and 15 losses, placing them in 6th place in the standings. Now the pressure was on. The remaining games were all crucial. Could they recover, or had this game been the final blow to their playoff hopes? As fans and analysts debated the loss, the biggest question was, should the coach, Stephanie White, have called the timeout earlier? Should she have made a different decision? The loss to Dallas was more than just about basketball. It was about strategy, timing, and the emotional impact of a game slipping away. So, what went wrong? Was it the missed timeout? The turnovers? The officiating? Or was it the simple reality that a single player, no matter how talented, can only do so much when the weight of the world is on their shoulders? And in the end, can the Fever turn things around? Or will this game define their season? The clock is ticking, and every decision from here on out is crucial. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think the Fever had a chance to win? Or was this just a game they were never meant to win? Should Stephanie White have called that timeout earlier? Or was the loss more than just a coaching mistake? And what about the officiating? Did it play a role in the outcome? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another video. Click the video on your screen for more analysis, and we'll see you in the next one.